All right, here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Experiences Within the Light here on the Beyond the Light Network. We have a pretty amazing guest tonight. I'm very excited about this. It is Mr. Dan Klaes. Welcome, Dan.
Hey, how are you?
I'm wonderful. You've got a lot of exciting things going on. How are you doing?
I don't know. Going kind of crazy.
Kind of going in circles these days, are you?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. It's,
yeah, sometimes I don't know whether I'm coming or going.
All right. They're saying you're a little low, so I'm going to crank it up. There we go.
Crank it up, baby.
I think that's max. Okay. Let's go a little bit more. All right. So, Dan is the owner of the Hinsdale House here in New York State. He's also podcast co-host of Phenomenon Encountered with Dee Garcia on Paranormal Warehouse. He's also an author, a lecturer, a speaker, a dedicated family man, okay, for sure, and also a web series host of the new series Within These Walls on VidiSpace, the Haunted Space, with his co-hosts Chelsea, Lewis, and Lynn. And it's an amazing new live streaming service created by Nick Groff and Elizabeth Saint. And I just want to say kudos to them because I absolutely love it. I talk about it every week.
Me too.
So again, welcome back to Experiences Within the Light, Dan.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to even be asked. This is great.
Well, I'm so glad you came back to tell us and talk to us about your new series. You sure, like I said earlier, you've got a lot going on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this new project you got going on?
Yeah, so a long time ago when they were first, Nick and Elizabeth were just in the infantile stages of, putting this network together. He called me right away and said, Dan, would you be interested in doing a show? And I said, seriously? He's like, yeah, you want to do a show on the new network that we're going to be doing? And I said, sure. I was super excited to do it, and then time went along, and then all of a sudden, boom, they started promoting the network, VidiSpace, the Haunted Space. The Haunted Space is just going to be one of many channels on VidiSpace, which is really cool. There's going to be like the cryptid space, there's going to be the music space, there's going to be all these different channels that they're going to actually be rolling out, so that's really awesome. And
wow.
Obviously with what Nick and Elizabeth do, their baby would have been to put it on the Haunted Space first, get that one rolling, and
right.
They started putting shows together, and like with Ken Boggle and some other great people, And my idea, he kind of let me roll with what I wanted to do. Obviously I have to run everything by them of how and what we're going to do, but my idea was, since we're only going to be shooting an hour, that we have to be able to jam-pack what we're doing into an hour. And I've actually gotten the nickname Flash because I keep running around from area to area. But what I wanted to do is have a different type of equipment in each suspected haunted area of the location that we're in. I split the team up into 3 locations so I can go investigate with each team member, a psychic, an investigator, and Louis is a great photographer. He's caught a lot of great catches, and he really dives into what we're doing. So have each one of those guys in their perspective areas, knowing their claims of that area of certain spirits that may be appearing or showing in front of people's eyes, and then we try to debunk those claims or see what we can get in those areas by any means possible within, say, about 20 minutes. So far we've been pretty successful in doing so. We have to learn a lot of the history of the location and a lot of the claims and try to jam it into an hour, and it's been pretty good. It's an interactive show. So the other cool thing about the Haunted Space and VidiSpace is when the show is airing live, you can actually log into the chat room and participate in asking questions. The camera, the folks that are filming it, Nick, Elizabeth, whoever's filming it, actually have a little screen on their camera so they can see the chat room, and you can actually ask live questions to us while we're doing the investigation and participate in what we're doing, which I love. I think that's so awesome. So
yeah, that's great. Yeah, it is very, very interactive, and I love it. And those banners come up across the live stream that we are seeing as a viewer. It's the comments from the tweets and things like that go up across the screen at the bottom,
right,
as we're watching you. So that's really neat as well. So everybody should definitely check that out for sure. I love it. I have my monthly subscription.
Yeah.
And for somewhere around $20 a month, you could watch basically everything I have, pretty much. And it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, if you're really into the paranormal, it's definitely the place for you. Especially if you're not much of a TV watcher or a big fan of watching TV. Ditch the subscription that you have that you watch maybe 1 or 2 channels on, and save that money every month and get a subscription to VidiSpace.
Cool. Yeah, and the cool thing also is the live cameras. Now I started working on a project with Paranormal Warehouse where we were setting up these live cameras. But the problem is putting them onto a location where we could actually keep the recordings and go back and view them, because the cloud space is super expensive. I don't know if you've ever looked into like cloud space, but actually storing 24 hours, 7 day a week of these cameras, and there's multiple cameras. So they actually offered to bring them over to their network and still allow us to use them to promote on Facebook, Twitter, whatever we're using, and they're running 24/7 there, and people that actually want to buy those just watch the cameras. People love watching these cameras and ghost hunting, and it's what I've always dreamed of, because as a paranormal investigator, you set up these static cameras, and then you do your investigation for 8 hours, then you have to go back home, roll out each video, and sit with 2 or 3 people, and hopefully find something. Whereas if you have 100 people in there watching, you have 200 eyes on it, or whatever the amount of people are in the chat room at that time, that everybody's talking about what's happened. Did you see that? And they're taking screenshots, and they're getting the times in the corner, and they're sending them to us, and we're actually getting some amazing results by allowing having them streaming live online, where people can actually check things out. Now, there are things that are questionable, but there are a lot of things that are like, hey, what the heck is that? It's crazy.
Right, but it gives you the opportunity to look back and take a closer look. And whether it was just contamination or not, you get that added opportunity.
Yeah, and people get to talk about it and work with each other. That's cool.
Yeah, I had caught something on a replay that I watched, because I didn't get to watch live on one of the Vidi Space shows, which was Johnny Hauser's show.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't believe with everybody watching, nobody caught it. And
well,
he went back and listened, and he was like, whoa!
Yeah. That's cool, though. That's cool that you were able to catch that, and you brought it to his attention. A lot of people are asking too. The network is in its infantile stages, but they're also, a lot of people are asking, and I even saw on Periscope, we need multiple views. We need multiple views. Right now, we can only do one at a time, but we're getting new cameras and we're setting them up, and they're going to be able to actually have a screen, and it'll have like 12 different haunted locations on it live, and they can just click on the screen and watch that particular view that they want to watch. If somebody wants to watch Hinsdale upstairs, somebody wants Hinsdale downstairs, they'll be able to pick which one they want to watch. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Really?
I'm not excited about traveling all around to all these locations that I already set cameras up at and setting new cameras up, but hey, you got to do what you got to do for the team, right?
That's right. Take one for the team. Now, so far you have been to 3 different locations. You've had 3 different episodes on your new show, Within These Walls. I have watched every single one of them.
They're getting better, right?
I think they've all been really great. Even the introduction and the endings are changing as it progresses.
Yeah. We're our own worst critics,
And it works, though. You have to do that and experiment to try to figure out what is going to work and what looks and all that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, as far as timing goes, it's rough. I'm sure, going to this floor and then the next floor and then the next floor and the basements.
Yeah. I'm definitely getting my steps in when I work on Saturday nights at 11 o'clock for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I'm not sure how much detail you want to go into about the episodes, but can I?
Yeah, you can dive in. I mean, we can talk about them, and we can do,
Okay.
Hopefully it'll spur people to want to go check them out, so absolutely.
Yeah. It's absolutely wonderful. It's fantastic to be a part of it. And, of course, you can watch live, but after, 72 hours, you can watch, once it's loaded onto the site, you can watch video on demand, and there's also extra footage of things that have taken place off live scene where you aren't, So that's cool as well.
Correct. And the other thing is which I don't know if anybody's noticed, but Lynn and Louie each have their own static camera that they've been bringing with them, and we actually are downloading their footage that they have when they're alone in their locations, and we're going to be uploading that as well as extra footage. So that's going to be pretty cool to actually see them in their spots doing their investigations when I'm not there until I get there.
Right, because you do have to do a quick recap at the end, and they tell you about something that's took place while you were live in another part of the building or whatever, and you get to see that later.
Right.
So that's really neat. Now, the very first place you went was the Murdoch Whitney House in Massachusetts.
Yes, and that was beautiful. That was such a beautiful location. I felt like honored to even walk in there. I was like, everything. I just felt like if I touched anything, I could get in trouble if it broke. It was like crazy. Like I'm walking into a museum, basically. It was so cool.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. I was going to say that it looked like a museum. Their preservation of that is pretty amazing. Now, you and Chelsea were in the basement at that location, and we're having some experiences in the basement. And when that was taking place, you could kind of hear that you can't really go any further in to check it out because it would have lost live feed,
right?
Which could cause a problem.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, but you guys were hearing noises, things like that. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, not only that, but earlier when I went down there now. I mean, you're
that
looking
was
at,
during live. Yeah.
yeah, you're seeing shadows moving. You know, like it's like they were surrounding us down there, and things were actually moving and making noises. Like asking. To me, it felt inviting, not scary, but because we were live at that time, you know, obviously we've actually tested the cameras and where they could go in the house, and that wasn't an area in the house that we could actually bring the live camera into, unfortunately. But you know, to actually see that, you know, and be able to catch it out of the corner of your eye, and then to actually have convincing noises being made, it was pretty crazy. And it also happened with Louie upstairs. You know, I don't know, you saw the spot when we were upstairs in the bedroom, and I said, if you're here, move something. And I had just set a thing on the I forget, it was like a little plaque or something like that on the. Come on, help me out here on the sink. I'm losing it. I'm so tired.
Oh,
and then boom, it just fell again.
Right
so,
in the bathroom
on
sink.
Command.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat.
Yeah, that was like whoa, and it matched up to like the sound that was caught by him.
Right.
So prior, so that was really neat.
I feel really blessed. I feel blessed to be able to investigate, because I've been investigating with these guys for a long time, and we all know what makes each other tick, and we all know our team is bigger, but I could only pick a certain amount of people, and I knew that the way that the team I had to ensemble the four of us, we would definitely work well and get stuff for the show. It was important that we were getting stuff. I mean, to just sit there for an hour and then be a history show, then, you know, we would, if we're not getting any activity happening. So we really need to learn the history of these locations and what makes them tick, and really try to not push buttons but touch on things so we can get responses when we're in there.
Well, yeah, because you've only got 1 hour. Now, we do have a question in the Spreaker chat room.
Cool.
If you know, how do you have any idea how much it is to subscribe to just the static cams? Because I know it's
$4.99.
$4.99 for the static cams.
And that's for the whole. That's it. $4.99. It's not per month. It's just $4.99 for the static cams. So.
Nice.
We're not trying. Like I said, we're not trying. When we set those up, we're not trying to kill people on pricing and stuff like that for those. I know we had them on a free platform, but to put them over and just to cover the cost of the cloud space for the all the cameras we got going on, and that's basically what it's covering. We're not making money off of those, but also having them available 24/7 is huge. Like, you can go on anytime and watch a camera, you know,
and check them and do their maintenance and change things out.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome, Sandy. Thanks for
Sandy.
asking. So yeah, there is, a bunch of different ways that you can purchase or even rent just single episodes or buy single episodes of the other things just to check them out, and then decide whether you want to do a subscription. That's what's amazing about it. You can choose your own special station, so to speak, if you wish.
I always recommend, instead of doing the on-demand per episode, why don't there's a 3-day pass you can get for $5, and you can basically have you can whatever day you start it, you get 3 days. I always say try it on the weekends, because the weekends we have the live stuff going on. But if you don't do it on the weekends, you have more time during the week, you can go back and watch all the video on demand stuff for the $5 and check it out, see what shows you like, and then go from there. Check out the live cameras, and they're adding more and more. And did you notice that they're adding content as well? Other shows that are already pre-recorded shows and documentaries and stuff like that.
Yes, and films.
Yeah,
yes,
Finding Phantoms. Those guys are my buddies, and they do a really great job with their show. And now they have a network to put it on.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. This whole platform is just really cool. So everybody really check it out. It doesn't cost anything to go and look.
No. Yeah, definitely check it out.
So Definitely do that. Now, when you were still at the Murdoch Whitney house,
Uh-huh.
you and Lynn had some pretty cool interactions with what appeared to be child spirits upstairs while playing games and kind of doing a tea party to
Ugh.
interact with them. Now, you were also using a Geoport or a Geobox. I can't remember which one it
I think I
was.
had the Geo box upstairs.
And there was some pretty cool interaction that took place there as well. Names also.
Yeah, and Lynn she really thought it out how she wanted to present that, and how we were going to try to get a reaction out of the spirits that were up there. And as much as I didn't like having to sit and do a tea party, I do what she wants to do. You know, like, this is her area, this is her investigation. I'm helping her out when I get up there, and like in like the second episode, she had me playing hopscotch. You know,
Yeah, I
like,
saw that.
yeah, that's big guys don't like to play hopscotch, but I did it. But yeah, I got lots of remarks and comments about the make sure you have your pinky up when you do your tea parties, Dan, after the show.
Oh.
But it's fun.
Well, yeah, and it's about getting interaction going and those type of things kids are more comfortable with.
Right.
If they are children's spirits, of course, because we don't 100% know, but
No. But what we were doing seemed to be working. So the theory that we had seemed to be working, which is good.
Yeah, there is no doubt. The reactions were crazy. Several intelligent responses.
Right.
Not just like that pareidolia stuff, going on. For sure. No, I really enjoyed that episode.
Thank you.
Was that the one, or was that the second episode at Selma Mansion? But I think it was the first one. What was right outside the children's bedroom in the hallway where the doors were, the cap type doors. We kept hearing some tapping or something going on.
Yeah, no, that was at the Murdoch. That was upstairs.
Yeah. Was it like second floor or third floor?
Third
I couldn't
floor.
remember which. Okay.
Third floor, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty I was like, whoa. And all of a sudden you see everything turn, and look.
It's pretty crazy to even think about, like, we're in there for an hour and boom, we got this much stuff going on. But I also think it's important that we have a lot of good equipment, and we're trying different equipment each week, and different spirit boxes, different ICT equipment, and we got some new stuff coming from Paranologies that we're going to be using, and just trying out new stuff, and hoping that we can get some type of intelligent response for the viewers.
Yeah, I totally agree. I like seeing the different things. I'm not one big one for the sound of, like, say, the SB7,
right?
Constant, but I've seen it react intelligently.
I have too, and the thing is, it's cool. But a lot of the times with the SB7 and the SB11, you have to actually record that, go back and listen to it to hear what the responses are, and that defeats the whole purpose of the spirit box, in my opinion. I mean, sometimes you can pick it up and you're good to go. Okay, we just got a live response, and you can give a live response back. But sometimes it's just so hard, and the ultimate goal would be to be able to have a conversation, a one-on-one conversation with the entity that's there.
Right. You're right. Absolutely, I agree. I'm not a big fan of the SB7s and 11s, things like that, but I'm not saying they don't work. It's just not really good for instant interaction.
Right. It's similar. I would put it right in there with using, doing a recording.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're not doing short burst sessions, things like that, which I like that you guys do.
Yeah, we're spoiled, just a little bit.
I like those, though, because you could see instantly the reaction just listening back to a few questions being asked if something happens.
Correct.
And comes up on it. I like that.
Well, nothing worse than having a conversation with somebody waiting a day to get the response, like, come on, like, if you were having a conversation with another human, and if you asked me this question and I just waited 2 hours to get back to you, the show would be over. So I mean, we gotta try to find ways to make that more interactive and live.
Yeah, yeah. But I think you guys are doing a great job with that. And I really like, I think it was it was Geoport or Geobox that you had with you.
Mm-hmm.
When we investigated down in Owego
Yep.
together that time. That was really neat. It's the first time I'd ever,
Seen that?
yeah, seen one of those. So that was really cool.
I had a question on
And that
Periscope. Do
one
you mind
had,
if I answer it?
no, go ahead.
They wanted to know. Now you could probably answer this too, but I don't want to turn the interview around on you. Um, but they asked how many times I've been in a situation where nothing's happened, and I mean that happens all the time. I mean, you go into locations for hours on end, and sometimes you're lucky to get one response or one EVP or anything to happen. I've been blessed with the Hinsdale house, um, just because of how active it is. You get kind of spoiled going in there because something always happens. But there, I mean, you have to really have patience to do this field. You can't always go in and get a response. You know, a lot of it's expensive. The equipment that I have is expensive. I mean, sometimes, I mean, just the Geo box. I mean, you see them going on eBay for what, $5, $6, $7,000, and you know, there's not a lot of them, and so it's not it's an expensive hobby to have. But I think it's cheaper than some, more expensive than others. But
Right.
you have to have patience, and you have to be able to go back and review your evidence that in all your recordings, and hopefully you get something. But there's a lot of
Yeah,
times where nothing happens at all.
exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of time involved with the reviewing process to
Yeah.
come up
If
zilch.
you have a full-time job and you want to be an investigator, you're probably talking a month to review, unless you have insomnia. I mean, if you work a
Right.
full-time job and then you go and want to review 4 cameras, if you had 4 static cameras at 8 hours, man, that's a lot of reviewing.
It sure is. It's a crazy amount of time. Now, let's talk about when you were at the Selma Mansion
Mm.
in Norristown,
Norristown, yep.
Pennsylvania. Now I found that one particularly interesting in the basement because before you ended up going downstairs with
Lewis.
Louis or Lewis, he had been hearing some noises in a certain direction down there, and when you came down is when you both saw not a shadow figure, but a black mass move in that exact same space
Yeah.
that he heard those sounds prior to you coming down. I thought that was very interesting, and I believe it might have happened twice.
Yeah, and I think we actually caught it on camera, but it was I knew he was, like, I've known Louis for a long time. He's one of my best friends, and his facial expressions are priceless. And when I walked down there, you could actually see that he was a little freaked out, you know. And
Yeah.
he's not one to scare about going into a location or by himself or anything like that. But you could definitely see that he was a little creeped out a bit. And then for both of us to see it at the exact same time, I mean,
Right.
it was like confirming for me, like, okay, I saw that, and I looked at him, he saw that too. Okay, cool. We both saw that black mass move right
Yeah.
there, and it was just, I don't know. You like, it seems like before I first saw my first shadow figure, I never saw anything, and ever since you had that first experience, it seems to be drawn to you more and more and more. And not that it happens all the time for me, but like when I'm putting myself into these situations, it seems to happen a lot where I see things. And I don't know if I'm becoming more psychic, I'm becoming more in tune with my ability to do that, but it's the more I do it, the more in tune I am with it. It's crazy.
Oh, I totally agree. I agree because the same thing, happened to me. The more and more I, was exposed to that, the more I started seeing. And I mean, you think about it, of years of investigating that you did prior and hadn't seen one, and then all of a sudden you see one. Now, progressively, you see more and more, even if it's, just a couple in a few month period of time. That's a lot more that you're seeing
Right.
than the prior years where you saw nothing. So you're definitely more in tune, no doubt about that. But it still, it gives you that factor of when you see something like that, it is amazing. Because there was no way down there that there could have been a contamination in that area.
No, I mean, you're talking 300 old limestone bricks down there. I mean, it's you could just feel the history going into this building. You know, it just thick.
Yeah, and you guys mentioned that too when at the beginning of the live feed, the difference you felt as soon as you walked in the door initially.
Yeah, because I think that there's going to be a lot of residual type feelings when you walk into a place like that. If it was used as a storage spot for ammunition and for the wars back in the 1800s and things like that, I mean, it's like you could just you soak all that in, and you could just kind of you could smell smoke, and you could smell cigars, and you could smell. I mean, it's just the history's there, and I think the history just is stuck, and it keeps bouncing off these walls, and you pick it up when you go into these locations.
Oh yeah, definitely the senses pick up on such intense energy,
Yeah.
whether that be residual or not. Um, because I think there's, the both. There's residual and then there's, intelligent for sure, as far as my experiences go. I'm not speaking for anybody else. But yeah, I think there is a wide variety because I've come across a lot of things.
Yeah.
Different levels. But yeah, I thought the activity in the basement, was pretty interesting for sure, because I would have been like, whoa, even after seeing the things that I've seen.
Right.
It's still a crazy experience.
Well, you hate to leave them sometimes when you only have 20 minutes in each location, and you have to go to each investigator. I can't just stay at one and skip the other ones. And as we went upstairs, it wasn't as active as it was in the basement, but it was still cool. I mean, to be able to tell the story of the location and let people see what the place looks like. But it's you never know. You never know. The first time we got the most activity on the last scene. So you just never know what's going to happen. And the same with the third episode. I think that was like boom, wow, okay.
Yeah,
Crazy.
The third episode I think was the craziest as far as how intense and how much, well, not really intense, but how much activity was taking place during that short period of time was just...
Well, John Ruggiero told us, he goes, be prepared when you come, because he's the one that helped us get it from New Jersey Paranormal.
Okay.
He said, be prepared when you come into this place. It's hit or miss. It's either going to be really busy or it's going to be dead. And luckily we got it on a busy night.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. Now, we're going back to the second episode there with your time with Lynn upstairs, and you were communicating with different children. It was a different place. And you were using one of the boxes and getting some pretty interesting responses. Now, at the same time that you and Lynn were upstairs asking questions, and you're getting, a few things on the box, and even I think on the periscope thing.
Oh, the 360? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the proximity thing.
That's a static. That measures static.
Oh, static. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was getting responses in the area that you had set up for them to actually respond, so that was fascinating. And then downstairs, unbeknownst to you and Lynn, Chelsea was hits on her K2 in response to your questions that you were asking, and also doing channeling their answers as well. So that came out at the very end when you all gathered, to wrap it up. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, B footage, right?
Yeah.
So neat.
Yeah, looking for. I haven't seen that. So.
Well, it's not out yet. She's, it's you got to remember this is just coming off the ground. They do have somebody in marketing now. and it's up until this point, it's just been Nick and Elizabeth. I don't know. You think I'm busy. I don't know how
I
they do it.
can't even
With their travel schedules and families and
their other work that they do and the filming.
yeah, and then and then for us to show up the first night, and Nick is actually filming us. He was filming
Right.
us. I mean, they're hands on helping us, and it was just like amazing to have somebody with. Not that he's any better of an investigator than anybody else, but come on, he's been on TV, and everybody's watched him, and he's got 600,000 followers on Facebook, and he's filming us, and it was like really, I mean, just amazing, for him to. And it's the vibe I've always gotten from him from the day that I met him. Is just down to earth,
Right.
loving the paranormal and trying to push the boundaries is what he's always done, and this is just another way that he's doing that through other people, and it's not
Yeah.
it's not even about him. It's about like the Ghost Criers, or it's about Johnny Hauser, or it's about
Right.
me. He's pushing us to try to push
Mhm.
those boundaries, and it's amazing.
He's been to a great deal of many places as well. And I get that vibe from him and Elizabeth.
Oh, she's
Um,
amazing too.
being so, down to earth and, you talk seriously and have a serious conversation, but also, kick back, relax, joke around, those kind
Yeah,
of things.
when we're not
Those
busy,
are the earth
absolutely.
people.
Elizabeth actually filmed us last week, or our last episode. She,
Yeah,
sh
I could tell, I could hear every once in a
yeah,
while. Yeah, I think they're awesome because of how down to earth they are and genuine.
yeah. It's like you learn from them, but it's like no matter what job you're in, any job you're in, you want the boss to show that they'll come down and do the jobs that like the camera guy
Right.
job. I mean, it's like they're leading by example.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Now, um, episode 3.
Hmm.
Oh boy, the Barron Arts Center in Woodbridge, New Jersey.
Yeah,
You had a special guest that
we
night.
did impromptu, but it was cool because he's kind of been gone off the radar for a while.
Yeah, well, he was on the show Haunted Collector, and that would be Mr. Brian Cano.
Yes.
So I thought that was really neat that he joined in that night with you and your team. Um, and the attic, I mean, seriously,
The
with
whole
even
place. The whole
and he
place.
has been there many, many times.
Yes.
Brian has, and he, um, being a healthy skeptic investigator, was even pretty shocked by some of the stuff that was being captured. So that was really neat
Yeah, it was funny
to see
because
because
he
it's intense at
yeah,
that
yeah. It was he is it's cool because he brings a whole nother aspect to investigating. He really makes you push your thought process into the things that you do when you're investigating. And when we first Lynn told me when she was first up there filming, he forgot some of the things he would normally do because he hasn't done it in so long. Because he's actually taken a step back and taken a break from and I can understand that because it is madness sometimes of
Sure.
when you're on the
You-
circuit going to all these different countries and events
right.
and things like that, and it takes a lot out of you. So I
Hmm.
was honored to have him there, and it was cool. We all went out for dinner beforehand, and
That
it
was
was
neat
neat.
to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, when I'm trying to, I can't even remember. So there was a
My
lot
my
going
my
on.
favorite thing too,
Oh,
like
yeah, your
at the
favorite.
beginning when Chelsea when I was talking to Chelsea, she said, I feel like there's something hidden, something's here, and then
Yes, and crawl space.
yeah, in a crawl space.
Yeah.
And then when we were up in the attic with Brian and Lynn, and I was going towards the crawl space area with Brian, on the geoport came through. It was like pamphlets or what the heck was it?
Journal.
Journals. Yeah, Lynn's yelling
Journal.
journals, in the
Hidden
crawl space, and I was like,
space.
no
Hidden
way,
space. Yeah.
no way. And
That
that was
is
just like,
really
okay,
cool.
that kind of just solidified what Chelsea had said earlier. And man, did I want to! You couldn't climb up into the crawl space because the ladder is so old; it's over 200 years old, and they don't want anybody to go up there. But boy, did I want to so bad!
Oh,
But
I
I
know.
didn't
I
want to
could tell with your voice.
disrespect what they wanted from us. So
Correct, correct. No, I agree. But when the camera was panned up into that opening, I could just almost feel like the draw, like, oh, it would be so cool to see up in there. There's something there.
yeah, no, absolutely, I agree with you
Oh,
100%. I want to go. I
totally.
want to go back and explore more. I hated it not only having a limited amount of time there, because we get there around 9, and
Hmm.
that's it. We're there for 4.5 hours. So
Mm. Now, I know one of your investigations, I can't remember if it's the second or the third one, you were very limited on the time that you had left by the time airing and things like that. So it must have been like your
yeah, I've learned to try to keep
cutoff
time better.
point.
Like I'll keep
Yeah.
my little timer on, so I know, okay, I gotta
Hmm.
jump from this spot to the next spot. Oh, okay, we're over an hour. But it's cool because we can go over an hour. But if
Which
there's, when
right.
we start getting busier, like, the 10 o'clock when the ghost criers start coming on before us, they're going to have to end, and then boom, we're going right on. And it's going to be, you can't go over. So we have to train ourselves to be good because, there's only
Right.
one live channel. And once the channel's, the next show goes on, the other one goes off. So,
Right. And it's hard when you're in the midst of exciting responses, activity that's going on, I'm sure. Because you really do want to dig in, you want to stay there, but then you got to cut things off. Doesn't mean you can't stay and investigate, but
no. And we have been able to. But, I'd like to stay longer for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Barron Art
you
Center I didn't
be
get to stay
do
at.
some
I want to go.
amazing
I definitely
things.
want to go back there again.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely be interested in going to that place. Um, can you give us any idea of where you're going to be
I can
next?
I can let you know that we'll be somewhere in the New England states. Maybe within the next 3 weeks we may actually be in Manhattan. It's filming,
Oh,
and I don't know. Sometimes it's last minute, but
right.
we won't. We'll probably announce it tomorrow or Friday. Our
Oh,
location,
very cool. That'd be great.
depending on
But
once
it's
what's
going to
ever
be exciting
confirmed.
though.
It is because I mean, like literally, we don't even know where we're going either. We don't know where we're going till like the last minute, usually every week. So it's pretty cool. We're in the car driving together and looking up history and working on all that kind of stuff while we're driving. So everybody's got their
Uh,
Google on and researching as we go.
right? That's always my go-to. I'm just like, Google. Google's my friend.
Yep.
Now, why don't you tell us a little bit also about what's going on with your restoration project and this new outbuilding that you're creating?
Yeah. So I mean, we still have a lot of work to do on the main building at Hinsdale House with the siding. But we're redoing the bathroom. A lot of you that's been there in the past few years know that the bathroom is kind of scary in itself. The basement door is off the side of the bathroom, and it's you have a working toilet and a working sink, and that's about it. But I wanted to make it
That's what
accessible
leaks
for.
into the basement from the toilet.
Yes, that's why keep a little lock on that when you're going to doing your business. Hoping nothing scary comes on there, but I wanted to get the shower working again, and I wanted to get new floor put in and the new ceiling put in because all the crap and dust was coming in from the ceiling, and that was deteriorated. There was some more black mold in the bathroom that was behind the old sink, so we got a new vanity, redid the floors, redid the whole tub, put a new surround in, and redid all the pipes for the water, and now we have a working shower. We redid the ceiling, and it's coming along. It's not. Obviously, it's not going to be like the Marriott, but it's going to be better than it was, and it's going to be usable for people when they're there spending the night if they want to take a shower the next day or whatnot. It's going to be there available for them.
Awesome.
So that's that's we're doing that right now. Right before December, we had to have a whole new septic system put in, or else we wouldn't
Yeah.
even be having a working bathroom. That was like $8,000 to do that, and they had to like dig out the old and had to do it all by the county, how the county wanted it done, and dug up the ground. We did find some cool Indian relics that were
I
buried,
was going to ask you.
some old
Yeah. Did the
arrowheads,
activities
and
up as well?
the activity always seems to be legit. So it's not
Right.
digging it up didn't make it any worse. I can tell you that, but it's still stuff happening, all the time. So.
I'm sure.
And then another phase that I want to do is I want to have a separate building built next to on the other side of the driveway that will house a standalone museum with historic Hinsdale items, along with a base camp for teams to stay in, as opposed to staying in the house, just to limit the amount of contamination that's happening when teams are doing investigating. Not that they don't, but in the winter it would be better to be able to have separate, and then if it's raining or whatnot. I mean, it's just it'll be better altogether because we can wire it and allow teams to actually tap into the house from the other location and be able to say something to somebody without contaminating an EVP or something. And it'll also have sleeping quarters. If people don't want to sleep in the house, they can sleep over at the base camp with a small kitchen and a bathroom over there. And I think that'll totally add to everybody's experience as a paranormal location for investigating only. I mean, nobody lives there, so
Right.
we got to try to ramp it up for people that like to come there and all the paranormal investigators. So that's what I'm trying to do. It'll be a first of its kind, actually
Yeah.
building an extra building for a base camp. So it'll be cool. And then also along with that, I want to take a lot of the items that I have, from the exorcisms, from history of
Right.
Hinsdale, letters that were written from Clara Dandy, all these cool things that I have that I just can't put on display or feel comfortable leaving out. I'll be able to actually bring those to people and travel around when I'm going to these conventions, and actually have like a setup for the traveling museum, so people can actually see the history firsthand and see the letters and see the writings back and forth, the newspaper clippings and all that cool stuff.
I like that.
Yeah, so it'll be kind of like a Hinsdale, kind of like a miniature version of what Greg and Dana do,
Right.
just based
New
on the
per-
Hinsdale house. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's wonderful. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So far, so good. We've had some decent amount of support for it. I think we have 26 supporters as of today that are actually financially backing it. If you do want to become a supporter, go to my website, danielklaes.com, and click on the Patreon page and be part of it. I mean, I'm doing a lot of cool stuff for the people that do sign up. If anybody knows Bernice Golden, will be doing. She's actually wanting to volunteer once a month to go on and do private readings, a gallery reading once a month for any of the Patreon supporters that are supporting the Hinsdale House. So for the $5 that you donate that month, you're going to get your questions answered by a legendary psychic.
And she is amazing.
Yeah, and it's really cool because when she's live, she's got hundreds of people. Hundreds of people asking questions, so the likelihood of getting your question answered is very low. But if there's 26 to 50 people, everybody's going to get a question answered. And I think that's going to be really cool for the supporters. I mean, you can go on and read all the other stuff that I'll be doing too. Like I'm going to be having VIP parties for the supporters at the Hinsdale House that won't cost them anything. I'm going to be doing live interviews with them. I'm going to be sending out, like I just got cool new stickers made that I'm going to be sending out to the supporters. Like I love the Hinsdale House, New York, and then I got this little hanging tree one, and like we'll get little cool relics made for everybody and send them all out to people that are supporting the location, which is cool by me. I got to support them if they're supporting me. Even getting plaques made.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice. Are people still coming that you have to sign by the doorway to the stairs?
Yeah. So like if what I've been doing is like if somebody's been on a national TV show, I've actually had them sign and take their picture signing on the door frame, and we're filling up pretty good.
That's cool.
I got Dustin. I got a spot for Dustin Perry. He's coming in the beginning of June, and then I'll have Chuck Banks coming, and I'll have Chris Sutton coming in July. So they'll get to sign. So,
that actually, what is that? The 20, or wait a minute, God, I gotta look.
She's so prepared.
Yeah, my calendar's right here. The 14th of July.
Yes.
Is the one with Chuck and Chris and you, of course.
Yes.
So definitely, is there an event made for that?
There is, yeah. So if you go to Daniel, I have kind of put everything on my page. So danielklaes.com. Just click on tickets, and you can see all the events that we have coming up there and at Wildwood Sanitarium. We got Ryan Buell's coming to the Wildwood Sanitarium. People love or hate him, but he's got a lot of fans still, and he's going to do 2 days there. So it's going to be. I'm interested to have him. I've kind of.
He was at Malvern not too long ago.
He was what?
He was at Malvern Manor.
Yes, he was. He was doing a live on Paranormal Warehouse. Yep. I've gotten some kickback from some people about promoting an event with him. But let me just say this: if anybody's ever dealt with anybody that's had any type of addiction problem in the past, you do some crappy things when you're going through that type of stuff. And he's done some pretty crappy shit, but it doesn't mean he doesn't deserve a second chance. He's on the right. He's on the right path. His family is supporting him, and I support him. And
I hope that he, it works out for him.
I do too, and I really do, because I really enjoyed him on Paranormal State and his ideas, and I think that I hope this all works out. We are handling the money. All the money's coming into my account, and then I'm paying them after. So if something were to happen, we would make sure that everybody's taken care of.
Right.
Like I always do.
Right. Absolutely.
For all those doubt-sayers out there.
Well,
gotta pay your dues,
Deserve second chances. Am I all about third, fourth, and fifth? Not so much. But seconds, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't know what it's like to deal with something like that. So
I really do, as I would with anyone with that problem, and such.
Yeah.
Without going into detail with that, as far as what he's been through and what he's done, we don't really need to do that. But yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty neat. What was the name again of that place?
Oh, Wildwood Sanitarium. Now that's another restoration project that I'm working on.
Yes.
That's about 25 minutes down the road from Hinsdale, and it's an old sanitarium that was built in 1903. My friend Lori Wagatha has purchased the building, and I am assisting with booking it and helping her raise funds to get the stuff done that needs to be done to that place. Now that's bigger than Hinsdale. It's probably triple the size, and it's got peaks and boundaries up on the roof, and but it's an amazing location. I've had some really compelling stuff.
Your live from your initial live there.
Yeah.
And when you were walking around through all the different hallways and the different staircases, and things like that, I was like, wow. Front staircase, back staircase, side staircase, all these different locations.
Right.
It's like, you could tell that it was used for, that purpose.
Yes.
But it's really
so
neat.
Yeah, I just got spreading the word and getting that place out there to the masses as well.
Absolutely.
And the cool thing about it is now teams that are want to experience the Hinsdale House, and if you're coming from out of town, can stay the weekend or stay for a couple days and kill two birds with one stone. You got Rolling Hills Asylum within 20 minutes, and then you have Wildwood Sanitarium within 20 minutes. So there's 3 locations that you can go to in Cattaraugus County that will allow you to actually investigate for 2 or 3 days. So that's really cool.
Yeah, you definitely want to plan that ahead, though.
Oh, yeah.
Check for availability, things like that, and then you have to book it.
Exactly.
Because last minute showing up's probably not going to work out for you.
No. I have a few Fridays open, but other than that, we're booking into November already next year. Almost every weekend is booked for Hinsdale. We have some availability for Wildwood, so I mean, it's, if you're looking for a weekend, get a hold of me soon.
Right? Or you're booking to 2019.
Yep. I really am. I already have bookings for 2019.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Because you're already to winter pretty much. Wow. Well, that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, bad problem to have.
Yeah, right? But, that's pretty cool. Now, I just want to, yeah, my best friend Tracy's in the chat room here in Spreaker, and Shay and Chuck, and I don't want to
Oh,
miss.
the old man's in there, huh? Chuck's in there?
He
Mr.
stepped
Banks.
out, and then he'll be coming back.
Ah.
And Sandy Griffin asked the question earlier and stuff. So I just want to remind everybody that's listening right now, you can create a free Spreaker account at Spreaker.com, and then you can actually log right in to Spreaker with your Facebook account, and then join in the live chat room. Just search Beyond the Light Network, and you'll be all set as far as all the shows go.
Of course, tonight I've kind of pushed you out on a lot of platforms. We got the show going live on Facebook on Greater West New York Paranormal Society's page. We have Twitch going on. We have Twitter going on. We have Periscope and YouTube. So we're on. We got a lot of people watching tonight.
That's awesome. Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
But I think, it's really important to get the information out there and share the information about your show within these walls, which I love the title. Did you come up with that one?
No, my friend Vicky did. Actually,
I love it.
Yeah, I loved it too. When she said it, I was like, I like that name. Nick liked it. I'm like, okay, let's go with it. Stick with it.
Yeah, that is awesome. I really like it. Well, that's part of my show title, within
Yes.
Experiences Within the Light. So I was like, I love that, but it was perfect for what you're doing.
Exactly.
Now, do you intend in the future to, say, do a property instead of the house, or a building?
To buy a property, you mean?
With these walls, but so that, pretty much states that you're going to do buildings, residents, things like that. But I was thinking, are you going to do a property sometime?
We could.
Outside?
We could rename the show Outside These Walls.
Hey, that could be a little side project there.
Maybe that's a different season. Who knows?
Awesome. There you go. Season 2.
Yes.
Knocking down.
Named by Candy O.
Yeah. No, I won't be wandering around doing all that stuff. That would drive me crazy.
Yeah, and I really need to get in shape to do that if we're going to be doing a whole property. Like, Chelsea's over there, 100 yards that way. My God, I'd have to run in an hour. Get my jogging on.
That'd be difficult. Oh, you could do those remote EVP sessions.
There you go.
Do a conference call.
Yeah, like Rick Wade does.
Try it.
Yeah.
See if it works. There's an experiment for you.
Hey, gotta try it.
Hey,
it works. I've seen it work.
Oh, cool.
I've actually done some experiments with EVPs where it's collective consciousness, where nobody says anything and everybody thinks the same thing, and lo and behold, that word comes up on your recorder. It's crazy. It's worked twice for me.
I think you were discussing this on another show.
Yeah.
And I heard that. It might have been with Chuck and Ken.
Perhaps.
But it may have been your own Phenomenon Encountered.
Yeah.
It could have been that as well. I don't know. But yeah, that's awesome that works. I totally believe that, it's kind of, I don't know really how to describe it, but it's almost like tulpa.
Yeah.
That word tulpa. You think it's something into existence. It's basically the same concept. So, yeah. I think that happens actually a lot more frequently than is caught, because it seems so, real.
I know.
And it's pretty wild to really delve into and think about that. I had John Tinney on, and wow.
Yeah.
He is really amazing to talk to. Really amazing to talk to as well. I absolutely love
He's
that.
awesome. John is awesome.
I've never had the pleasure of meeting him in person, but I hope to. um, because it's like bouncing these ideas off, that we're talking about, and then he always knows those facts.
Yep.
I don't know how he keeps all that stuff straight, but blows my mind.
Well, that's what he does.
Yeah, well, that he's a researcher.
Yep.
Well, you're a researcher?
Yes, but I don't always remember everything like some people.
I wish I had that kind of a memory. That's just not going to happen. It's not in the cards for me. But I tend to remember, most of the
when you have
stuff.
to. Yeah, when you have to. The voice sounded kind of like on the recording sounded like just a whisper. Somebody had asked in the chat room on Periscope what the voice sounded like on the recordings that we did, so I just wanted to answer them.
Yep. Oh, my friend Tracy says she's watching on Twitter.
Cool.
Yay!
Yo, Twitter.
So yeah, but we not only also have the Spreaker account where you can come and watch all the Beyond the Light Network shows, but we also have a website that you can watch that particular week's live show or on demand for just that week at www.beyondthelightnetwork.com. And all that week's shows are available, and there's something on every single day for people to enjoy. Just pick and choose at your own convenience. But if you do get a Spreaker account, you can watch back to all of the on-demand shows for every single show and every single episode. So
cool.
Pick and choose. I recommend that one. Enjoy them all. But what else do you have going on, Dan, as far as what do you got coming up?
My next events that I'll be doing will be the SelmaCon on April 13th and 14th. So everybody can go to that, get tickets for that now. And then on April 20th and 21st, I'll be at the USS... what the heck? Like I said, my mind goes blank.
It's okay.
I'll be out in California for Nick Groff Tour, so go to nickgrofftour.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll be out on an old ship out there doing the. It'll come to my mind because I'm so used to the naval park here in Buffalo, New York, and the USS Hornet. Thank you, the USS Hornet. Yeah, and it's in San Francisco Bay. So it's going to be really cool to investigate that and help out with that and be part of the Nick Groff Tour that weekend. But I have a lot of events coming up. If you go to my website, danielklaes.com, that's basically everything that I'll be doing. You'll have Hinsdale House Attachment, Wildwood, all the events that I'm part of and going to be promoting, and it's all up there. You can find out more about me and.
With the restoration project as well, and the Patreon.
Yeah, it's all up there.
Yeah, it makes it easy. Find it all in one spot.
Yep, that was my goal. Put it all connected to one thing.
Yeah, that's great because it does make it so much easier. It really does, and he makes it very easy for you to come and be able to contact him. Or one of the others that do events at Hinsdale as well.
Yep.
So that's really cool. Now, there was something. Yeah, I totally...
See, we're both having brain farts tonight.
Yeah. But get hooked up with the Haunted.Space and Vidi.Space. Check it out.
Please. And make sure you watch us this weekend. We'll be live at 11 o'clock on Saturday night on the Haunted Space. Check us out.
Definitely. And there's a lot of great shows on throughout the entire week and all weekend. There's more on during the weekend.
Yes.
So, House of Schrock. Was it Chad? Chad show.
Yeah, Chad Limber's Badass Celebrity Ghost Hunt.
Yep. He has some celebrity on with him each week.
Yep.
So that's
Johnny
fun.
Hauser versus the...
And Johnny Hauser versus the Valeska Axe Murder House this season.
Yeah. That's really cool because he's going to the same location over and over again.
Well, yeah. And, you know, you can try out a whole slew of different experiments to try to communicate in the same place and try to figure out what works. He's working on the pattern.
Yes,
trying to figure out
exactly.
The pattern. Now, I know what it was. This database information that you're trying to create for Hinsdale House.
Yes.
Why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that
the guys from Paranormal Warehouse we're working on creating this a database called Paranormal Database, and it'll be not just for the Hinsdale House, but it'll be for all haunted locations. So, and then also working with Vicky, my friend Vicky, with her ghost maps. So she's actually getting blueprint plans for each of these haunted locations, and pinpointing the hot spots at the locations per investigations that are occurring there. So when people actually go to these locations, you're going to have history, and you're going to be able to know, okay, this is a really hot spot. It seems like 9 out of 10 teams have gotten an EVP in this corner of the house, or 7 people got this up here. Let's see if we can recreate what they got, and actually have download all the history and have it at the fingertips of the teams that are coming in, so they don't have to keep redoing the research over and over and over again. They'll have that at their fingertips, and hopefully be able to add their evidence in after their investigation is done. So Paranormal Database.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
With that information being recorded, you can look back and say, okay, this day and this month seems to be a lot more active for some reason than the rest of the days during that month, or this time during this type of weather even.
Right.
Or, just things like that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's all coming together. It's a slow process, because of everything else we got going on, but it's definitely something that I will continue to work towards to have. So I think it's important.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree for sure. Because I think that's, just that an important step in moving the entire field forward.
I agree, and it'll be good.
See those patterns. That would be great. Absolutely. All right. Dan, gonna thank you so much for coming on and talking about your amazing new show.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, and I know all the listeners, I appreciate you as well here on Spreaker and all the other live formats that are going on right now. Thank you so much for joining us on Experiences Within the Light here tonight on Spreaker on the Beyond the Light Network. Always a pleasure to have you on, Dan. You got some more projects going on, you just let me know. Come on, chat
busy.
about them.
Absolutely.
Get the word out there.
Thank
because
you.
I know it's so important.
It
All
is.
right.
Yeah, and your show's awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Next week, I'm going to have the guys from Ghost Crier on.
Oh, no.
That's going to be awesome.
Oh, no.
Nick and Aaron will be here next week.
And that's going to be right before their show debuts.
You're
in for a treat.
It's actually going to be, I thought their debut,
24th.
Oh, the 24th. Oh, I thought it was the 17th. Okay. I thought it was right after their debut, but apparently not.
I think. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're going live this weekend, and I think that Dee and Mooney's Ghostbot Chronicles are going live on the 24th. I'm getting the days screwed up.
Okay.
March 24th, so they're going to actually be the 24th too. So there'll be 2 new shows within the next 3 weeks.
So Dee and Dan are
Dee and Mooney.
And Mooney, Ghostbox Chronicles.
Yep.
Do you know what time?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Well, check out VidiSpace.
Yeah, it'll all be up there when they have everything worked out with the times.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think Ghost Crier is going on right before our show, so.
Ooh.
10 o'clock, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Christine, in the chat room. Thanks for stopping in. So I'm going to let you go so you can go have some of your precious family time.
Thank you. Yes. I'm going to go read a book with my daughter.
Absolutely. That is important. Family, family, family first. And thank you again, and thank you to your family for sharing some time with us tonight.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Good night, Dan. I'll
have
talk
a good night.
sometime soon.
Yes. Have
All
a good
right.
night.
Congratulations.
Thank
good night.
you.